Welcome to Myrtle Beach Eats and Beyond, the show where a local foodie, that's me, attempts to parlay a passion for delicious eats into a useful video guide for other locals and tourists attempting to answer the age-old question, where should we eat in Myrtle Beach? Don't worry, I've got you covered. With me on this journey are my three progeny, that's them, who also love to experience new eating emporiums, raising them up right. We'll also be exploring fun, family-friendly activities and showing you the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, the lowdowns and hoedowns of where to shop, play, stop, and stay. If you're lucky, I might even cook for you. And if that's not enough to convince you to subscribe, just know that once a week, I am completely wrecking my diet to bring you this content. Now, I'm not saying that you should feel guilty about that in any way, but I'm just saying you should subscribe. Hello friends, and welcome to our table. In our family, we practice a very important, very sacred annual tradition to get the new year started off right. And it doesn't have anything to do with resolutions. It's all about New Year's Eve Chinese food. I've been enjoying this tradition with my mom since I was a kid, so of course I carried it forward with my own babies. In the first few years, they mostly only liked the rice and lo mein, so Mama got all the extras to myself. As the years pass and their tastes develop further, they've coincidentally started to develop a special affinity for all of the sides that are also my favorites. I guess it's hereditary. When the California gold rush of 1849 drew many searching the hills for gold, it also drew immigrants across the Pacific from South China. These Chinese immigrants went into the lucrative business of providing services for the miners as traders, grocers, merchants, and of course, restaurant owners. Thus, Chinese-American cuisine was born. To an undiscerning palate, it may seem like all Chinese food is basically the same, and it's true that there are a handful of common recipes developed for Western taste buds that seem to be ubiquitous anywhere you go. Fried rice, mixed vegetables, lo mein, teriyaki steak, egg rolls. Historically, the dishes referred to as Chinese cooking were largely derived from Cantonese cuisine, which is just one of the 8 broader regional cuisines of the Middle Kingdom. By the 1960s, when the American immigration policy opened up and brought new transplants from additional areas, it also brought additional styles of Chinese cooking, like Hunan, Sichuan, Taipei, and Shanghai. Even if you stick to one style of Chinese cooking, however, the flavor of similar dishes can vary greatly depending on the restaurant. I've had General's chicken as both a hot and spicy dish and also as a deliciously sweet dish at different restaurants across my home state. I've had perfectly seasoned, lip-smackingly delicious fried rice, and I've had the same dish served to me bland and flavorless. And can we talk about egg rolls? Where I grew up, an egg roll is an egg roll. A spring roll is a spring roll. Both are delicious, both have their place, and I'm not mad at either one. But when I came to South Carolina and ordered from a takeaway Chinese spot, I was mildly offended that what they labeled as an egg roll on the menu was actually skinny, crispy, flaky, tightly wrapped spring rolls. When you're drooling for a dense, thick, crunchy yet chewy, belly-filling, and deeply satisfying egg roll, a deep-fried spring roll is a disappointing impersonation. Kind of like fat-free cheese. Just no. All that to say, we take our Chinese food seriously, and when we prepared for our first New Year's Eve in South Carolina, I made sure to hunt for a spot with all our traditional favorites and proper egg rolls. We were lucky enough to find Lucky Panda right off the bat. Located at 11911 Route 707 Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. That's right next to the Lowe's food store. Because pandas and luck are big in Chinese culture, there are a couple of other restaurants in Myrtle Beach by the same name, but they are not the same. So far, I can only speak to the food at this location. For as long as I've been here, this restaurant seems to only offer takeout service, which is fine with us because at home on the couch with a movie is the only way we want to spend our New Year's Eve anyway. We love that they have a drive-through window to pick up your food without even getting out of the car. We've stopped by the window to place our order for a later pickup, but the easiest way that I've found so far is to use the DoorDash app to place my order as a pickup. That way, I don't have to call in an order on the phone only to deal with poor cell phone reception and kitchen background noises making communication complicated. I select what I want, pay for it, set my pickup time, and then go get it. On this occasion, they were running a couple minutes behind on my order time and politely apologized for the wait when the bag was brought to my car. Where I come from, I've had to place a Chinese food order up to 24 hours in advance for a New Year's Eve dinner. I could see everyone working hard already, and it was only 3 in the afternoon, so all I felt was gratitude. I'd placed my order at their opening time about 11 o'clock that day and scheduled it for a 3 p.m. pickup, so I was just happy to get food on their busiest day of the year, and I didn't even feel the need for an apology. It wasn't even that late, maybe 2 or 3 minutes off the estimate, which is really nothing. For our annual feast, we always get the same thing: beef fried rice, vegetable lo mein, sweet and sour chicken, beef or chicken teriyaki, egg rolls, and crab rangoon. This year, I also got an order of sesame chicken, which I thought was a large dish for sharing, but ended up being an individual meal, which was perfect for me to steal for myself. The vegetable lo mein was delicious with perfectly cooked noodles dressed in a light sauce, crunchy bite-sized broccoli spears, crispy carrots, and munchable mushrooms. The sesame chicken came with light, fluffy rice, delicately seasoned, and slightly sweet, battered and deep-fried chicken tenders in a sticky glaze dusted with sesame seeds. What looks like the same battered chicken comes separate from the sweet and sour sauce, allowing you to combine it however you like. I chose to coat it in a bowl and then serve it on top of the fluffy white rice. Sweet and sour sauce is so yummy, and I'm glad we had some extra for dipping later. The beef fried rice is simple with onion and tender beef slices. It has a distinctly smoky flavor that differs from some beef fried rice dishes that I've had in the past, but it is scrumptious. The crab rangoons are always delicious with crispy edges, a soft middle, and creamy filling. I was pleasantly surprised that they actually stayed crispy throughout the evening, even as they sat out on the kitchen counter waiting to become a late-night snack. Teriyaki chicken was tender and slightly sweet, just to our liking. Just look at that gorgeousness. And of course, the egg roll that started it all. I will say that this egg roll is a little different than what I'm used to up north, but it's pretty small bones since it's not a spring roll. Where I come from, egg rolls usually contain tiny bits of meat, usually pork, and the shell is typically a little darker in color from frying just a couple minutes longer. These egg rolls only contain cabbage, and they're fried to a beautiful light golden brown. Consequently, they're a little less greasy on the outside, and the inside is a little more chewy. It was a bit of an adjustment for me at first, but when duck sauce is appropriately applied, the differences no longer exist. Only chewing exists, and swallowing, and mmming. So much deliciousness, I wish there were more New Year's Eves in the calendar year. That's why you'll sometimes find us dining on a Chinese feast at Easter time as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. If this content is something you enjoy, we'd love your help to grow our little channel. By liking this video, leaving a comment below, and subscribing to the channel, it really helps us out, and it's completely free to you. With your help, YouTube will be able to recommend this content to more foodie folks so we can all share the love of good eats. Many blessings to you in this season and beyond.